The vast plains of Kenya, stretching endlessly beneath the golden gaze of the African sun, wait in a hush that feels ancient and expectant. The land is a tapestry of ochre and amber, its grasses brittle and bowed, shimmering in the heat. For months the earth has been parched, its surface split by deep fissures, dust swirling in the wind. The air is heavy, shimmering with heat, and every living thing feels the weight of the long, unyielding dry season. Life here is a quiet struggle. A lone antelope picks its way across the plain, ribs faintly visible, searching for the last tufts of withered grass. In the sparse shade of an acacia, a small group of baboons huddle, their fur dusted and their eyes watchful, conserving energy as the sun climbs higher. But then a subtle shift stirs the air. The wind carries a new scent, and the sky, once a relentless blue, begins to change. Far on the horizon clouds gather, first wisps, then billowing towers of grey, their shadows crawling across the land. A low rumble rolls across the savannah, echoing through the bones of the earth. Elephants pause, trunks raised, sensing the promise in the air. Wildebeest lift their heads, nostrils flaring, as the first cool gusts sweep over the plain. The first drops fall, hesitant, scattered, each one sending up a tiny puff of dust. Then, as if the sky itself can no longer hold back, the rain comes in earnest, drumming on the earth, soaking into the thirsty ground. The scent of petrichor rises, rich and intoxicating. The ground, so long denied, drinks deeply, and steam curls from the warming earth. Insects, dormant for months, begin to stir beneath the surface. The rain intensifies, a curtain of water sweeping across the savannah. Dust is washed away and the land is transformed in moments. Streams form where there were none, and the air is filled with the sound of water and the distant calls of awakening life. In the days that follow, the transformation is nothing short of miraculous. The brown, lifeless plain is overtaken by a surge of green. Grass shoots push up in dense carpets, racing to claim the new moisture. The landscape, once muted and weary, now bursts with colour. Emerald blades sway in the breeze, and the air is alive with the hum of insects and the flutter of wings. Tiny grasshoppers leap from blade to blade, and beetles scurry through the new undergrowth. The earth, softened by rain, is alive with movement as burrowing creatures emerge from their hiding places. Acacia trees, once skeletal and bare, unfurl delicate leaves. Their branches, now heavy with green, offer shade and shelter to birds and monkeys alike. Weaver birds begin to build their intricate nests, weaving fresh grass into hanging homes. The rebirth of the land is a symphony of life. Herds of zebra and wildebeest return, their numbers swelling as they graze on the new grass. Giraffes stretch their necks to nibble at the highest leaves, while warthogs root in the soft earth for bulbs and roots. Riverbeds, once dry and cracked, now flow with fresh water. Pools form in low places, reflecting the sky and drawing thirsty animals from miles around. Frogs emerge, their calls echoing at dusk, and fish dart in the shallows. At these new waterholes, life converges. Elephants wade in, spraying themselves with cool water. Antelope, zebras, and buffalo gather, their differences set aside in the shared need for water. Birds swoop down to drink, their wings flashing in the sun. The air is alive with sound. Cicadas buzz in the grass, and the calls of hornbills and rollers ring out. Swallows swoop and dive, feasting on the sudden explosion of insects. Everywhere, animals feast and flourish. Wildebeest calves wobble on new legs, and impala fawns leap through the grass. The abundance is a celebration, a testament to the resilience of life. Yet, with this bounty comes new challenges. The thick grass offers both food and concealment, and every creature must remain alert. Predators, too, are awakened by the rains. Lions move silently through the wet grass, their golden coats blending with the shadows. Baboons, ever watchful, scan the horizon, their calls warning the troop of danger. The lush growth provides perfect cover for hunters. Lions crouch low, eyes fixed on the herds, muscles tensed for the chase. Every movement is a delicate balance between hunger and caution. The herds, drawn to the water, are ever vigilant. Ears flick, tails swish, and at the slightest sign of danger, a ripple of alarm passes through the animals, sending them scattering across the plain. The rainy season in Kenya is a time of breathtaking transformation, a double-edged gift. It brings life in abundance, but also sharpens the ancient contest between predator and prey. Here, in this land reborn, every creature must play its part in the eternal drama of survival. With the arrival of the rains, the Serengeti Mara ecosystem is utterly transformed. Water breathes new life into the parched earth, and the once dusty plains erupt in a vibrant tapestry of green. The air is thick with the scent of wet grass and wildflowers, and the sky is alive with the calls of birds rejoicing in the abundance. The land, now a sprawling carpet of lush, nutritious grass, becomes irresistible to the great herbivores of Africa. The promise of fresh grazing draws them from every direction, their ancient instincts guiding them to this seasonal paradise. Wildebeest, zebra, and gazelles gather in numbers so vast they seem to blur the horizon. Their hooves churn the soft earth as they move in synchronized waves, driven by hunger and the need to survive. Each animal is part of a living current flowing across the plains in search of the richest pastures. This immense congregation creates a spectacle unlike any other. A living, breathing river of life that stretches as far as the eye can see. The ground trembles beneath the weight of thousands, and the air vibrates with the energy of migration. The symphony of the savannah is ever present, the thunder of hooves, the low, resonant grunts of wildebeest, and the sharp, barking calls of zebras. It is a chorus of abundance, a soundtrack to the season of plenty. But where there is abundance, there is also danger. The arrival of the herd signals a time of opportunity for the predators, those whose survival depends on the hunt. Lionesses crouch low in the grass, their golden eyes fixed on the moving feast before them. Cheetahs scan the horizon, muscles coiled, ready to unleash their explosive speed. Every movement is calculated, every sense sharpened. The predators stalk with silent precision, blending into the landscape, their eyes locked onto the weakest or most distracted members of the herds. The tension is palpable, a silent battle of wits and instincts. Lions, leopards, cheetahs, and hyenas emerge from the shadows, each with their own hunting strategies. Lions rely on teamwork and raw power, leopards on stealth and surprise, cheetahs on speed, and hyenas on endurance and cunning. The savannah becomes a chessboard, every move a matter of life or death. The tall, rain-fed grasses are both a blessing and a curse. For the grazers, they offer food and shelter. For the hunters, they provide perfect cover, allowing them to creep ever closer, invisible until the final explosive charge. At any moment, the calm can shatter. A sudden rush, a burst of speed, and the chase is on. The herd erupts in panic, hooves pounding, dust flying, as predator and prey engage in a desperate race. For the hunted, survival depends on vigilance and agility, for the hunter on timing and strength. Yet, amidst the chaos, life finds a way. The rainy season is also a time of birth. All across the plains, newborns take their first breaths, blinking in the bright light, their bodies still slick from birth. Mothers choose this season for its abundance, knowing that the rich grass will give their young the best chance to grow strong. Tender moments unfold as mothers nuzzle and clean their newborns, urging them to stand and take their first, uncertain steps. The plains become a nursery, filled with calves, foals, and fawns. Their spindly legs tremble as they learn to walk, curiosity and fear mingling in their wide eyes. Each step is a triumph, but also a risk, for danger is never far away. Vulnerable and inexperienced, the young are easy targets. Predators watch for any sign of weakness, ready to exploit a moment's hesitation. The struggle for survival begins from the very first day. Mothers stand guard, their bodies tense, eyes scanning the horizon for threats. They are fierce in their protection, willing to risk everything to defend their young. The bond between mother and offspring is a powerful force, forged in the crucible of the wild. Every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest elephant, is part of this intricate web. The actions of one ripple through the lives of many, each species playing its role in the grand drama of the savannah. Not only the great hunters, but also the opportunists follow the herds. Jackals, birds, and other small predators trail behind, alert for scraps or the chance to snatch an unguarded newborn. Jackals prowl the fringes, ever watchful, ready to dart in and claim a meal, left behind by the chaos of the hunt. Their sharp eyes and quick reflexes make them masters of survival in this competitive world. Above, vultures ride the thermals, their wings casting shadows on the ground below. With uncanny vision, they spot the slightest sign of a kill, descending in swirling flocks to clean the bones and return nutrients to the earth. From the mighty elephants that shape the landscape with every step, to the tiniest insects that pollinate the flowers and break down the dead, every life is woven into the fabric of the ecosystem. Here, abundance and danger walk hand in hand, and the rhythm of the rains sets the stage for a never-ending dance of survival and renewal. In the highlands of Ethiopia, where the morning mist clings to the rugged slopes and the air is alive with the calls of distant creatures, on the shifting border between Kenya's vast savannah and the emerald embrace of the highland forests, lives a remarkable society, Gelada baboons, whose survival depends not on brute strength alone, but on the sharpness of their minds and the subtlety of their social skills. Here, every day is a test of wit and will. Power is not seized by force, but woven through a tapestry of alliances, rivalries, and silent understandings. The dominant male, crowned by his fiery red chest, stands at the center of this intricate web. His rule is not absolute. It is granted by the trust and favor of the troop's females, who are the true arbiters of power. A male may possess strength, but without the silent approval of the females, his reign is as fragile as the morning mist. Within the troop, every gesture, every glance carries meaning. Grooming is not just a matter of hygiene, it is the currency of trust, a silent pact that binds individuals together and forges alliances that can shift the balance of power. The leader's watchful eyes scan the troop, ever alert to the shifting tides of loyalty and ambition. His story is one of constant vigilance, for in the bush, complacency is a luxury no animal can afford. For seasons, a powerful male may rule through a show of force, his presence alone enough to keep rivals at bay. Yet beneath the surface, a quieter contest unfolds. Younger males, eyes bright with ambition, bide their time. They watch, they learn, and they wait for the perfect moment to challenge the old order. Some rise not through open confrontation, but through patience and cunning, moving quietly among the troop, blending in, sowing the seeds of future alliances. A gentle touch, a moment of grooming, a shared meal, these are the tools of the clever, the means by which a challenger builds his coalition. Each act of grooming is an investment, a step toward trust and mutual support. In the world of baboons, relationships are as valuable as strength, and alliances can tip the scales in the struggle for leadership. When the time is right, the challenger, now backed by the most influential females, steps forward. The air crackles with tension as the old and new face off, but often the outcome is decided long before the first display of aggression. The confrontation is a spectacle, intense stares, bristling fur, the troop holding its breath, yet it is the silent politics, the whispered promises that have already chosen the victor. If the females turn away, the old leader's authority dissolves. He slips into the shadows. His time at the top ended not by violence, but by the quiet withdrawal of support. The new leader stands tall, but his rule is never secure. Every day brings new challenges, new rivals, and the ever-present need to maintain the loyalty of his supporters. Solitary males linger at the edges, watching for weakness, ready to exploit any sign of discord. The leader must balance strength with diplomacy, aggression with reassurance. The unity of the troop is its greatest defense. Together they move as one, alert to danger, quick to respond, their survival dependent on cooperation and trust. A wise leader is ever watchful, scanning the horizon for threats, leopards in the shadows, hyenas on the prowl. His vigilance keeps the group safe, but his true strength lies in his ability to hold the troop together. He must soothe tensions, resolve disputes, and foster peace, for a divided troop is vulnerable to both predators and internal strife. The intelligence of baboons is revealed in every aspect of their lives, from foraging on treacherous slopes to navigating the ever-changing dynamics of their social world. They remember the best feeding grounds, anticipate the movements of rivals, and adapt to the shifting seasons. In the wild, survival is a game of strategy. For the baboons of the highlands, it is their intelligence, their ability to read the intentions of others, to form alliances and to adapt, that ensures their place in this untamed world. Here, the true rulers are those who master the art of the mind. Deep within the emerald heart of Kibale National Park, the forest pulses with the secret dramas of its wild inhabitants. Here, beneath the tangled canopy, alliances are forged and broken in a world where trust is as fleeting as the morning mist. Among the towering trees, chimpanzees move with purpose, their societies a tapestry of shifting loyalties and silent rivalries. Each gesture, each glance carries meaning, an unspoken language that governs their fates. Grooming is more than a simple act of hygiene. It is a currency, traded for protection, support, and favor. The dominant male, the alpha, sits at the center of this web, his power built not only on strength, but on the loyalty of his companions. Yet in this world no single male can rule alone. Even the strongest must gather allies, brothers in arms who will stand beside him in moments of crisis. These coalitions are the backbone of power, but they are as fragile as the bonds that hold them together. In the shadows, alliances shift. A trusted friend today may become a rival tomorrow, as ambition and opportunity collide. Betrayal is a constant threat, lurking behind every shared meal and every whispered promise. The fall of an alpha is rarely a matter of brute force. More often it is the quiet withdrawal of support, the subtle shift of allegiance that topples a king. A leader, once surrounded by loyal followers, finds himself alone, betrayed by those he trusted most. When a new alpha rises, the entire group must adapt. Some former allies scramble to pledge loyalty to the new leader, while others fade into the background, waiting for their moment to return. Each leader brings his own style. Some rule with aggression, leading hunts and enforcing order with displays of power. Others rely on cunning, using subtle gestures and calls to coordinate their group, outwitting both prey and rivals. The strategies of these primates are as varied as the forest itself. Some leaders orchestrate ambushes, directing hunting parties with precision. Others innovate, using tools or clever tactics to secure food and maintain their grip on power. But the drama of alliances and betrayal is not limited to chimpanzees alone. Across the forest, baboons form their own shifting coalitions, their troops moving with military precision. When these two species meet, the air crackles with tension. Fierce battles erupt over territory and food, each side testing the strength of its alliances. A single misstep, a moment of hesitation, or a wavering ally can tip the balance, turning a standoff into a rout. Even among baboons, betrayal is not uncommon. Coalitions fracture under pressure, and former friends become bitter adversaries. In the aftermath, survivors seek new partners, forging fresh alliances in the hope of future victories. Throughout the forest, the story repeats itself. From the smallest monkey to the mightiest baboon, every animal must navigate a world of shifting loyalties and hidden dangers. Here, alliances are the key to survival, and betrayal is the price of ambition. As night falls, the forest holds its breath, The drama of alliances and betrayal continues, unseen but ever present, shaping the destinies of all who call this wild place home. On the open savanna, the undisputed apex predator is the lion. Yet in this wild theatre, another formidable force moves with cunning and unity, the baboon. These magnificent cats are the only felines to live in social groups known as prides. Baboons, too, thrive in large troops, their strength found in numbers and their sharp wits. The social structure of both lions and baboons is the key to their survival. Lions hunt prey far larger than any single cat could manage, while baboons rely on coordinated vigilance and swift communication to outmaneuver threats. Lionesses are the pride's primary hunters, moving with silent precision. Baboons, when threatened, rally together, dominant males at the front, ready to defend the troop with fierce determination. For both, the hunt or defense is not a chaotic scramble, but a carefully orchestrated strategy. Every movement is calculated, every member plays a role. Lions fan out, encircling their target, while baboons form a living shield around their most vulnerable, their eyes never resting. It is a masterclass in teamwork and predatory prowess on both sides. Communication is constant, silent or loud, as each group reads the intentions of the other. While lions often set their sights on formidable adversaries like the African buffalo, baboons are not overlooked. A troop of baboons can be a tempting yet dangerous target. A fully grown buffalo is a dangerous opponent, but so too is an adult male baboon, armed with razor-sharp canines and a fearless heart. These massive herbivores are not passive victims, and neither are baboons. Both are renowned for their courage and defensive capabilities. When threatened by lions, a buffalo herd stands firm. When baboons sense danger, they do not flee in chaos. They rally, presenting a wall of defiance. Both species form defensive fortresses, placing their young at the center, daring any predator to break through. The buffalo's horns fuse into a solid shield, an almost impenetrable helmet. The baboon's weapon is its jaw, capable of inflicting serious wounds even on a lion. A confrontation between lions and their rivals, be it buffalo or baboon, is one of the most dramatic events on the African plains. Here, the hunter can quickly become the hunted. A single charge from an enraged buffalo can be fatal. Likewise, a troop of baboons, united in fury, can drive off even the most determined lion, inflicting wounds and humiliation. Lions must be incredibly cautious, testing the defenses of both buffalo and baboons, searching for any sign of weakness, an isolated calf, a distracted baboon, a moment's lapse. The struggle can last for hours, a tense standoff of strength, strategy, and sheer determination. Every move is a gamble, every second a test of nerve. Both buffalo and baboons possess remarkable intelligence. They remember past encounters, learn from mistakes, and adapt their tactics. Buffalo have been observed tracking lions that attacked their herd, seeking revenge. Baboons, too, keep a watchful eye, learning the patterns of their predators, ready to sound the alarm at the slightest hint of danger. These extraordinary behaviors shatter the simple narrative of predator and prey, revealing a far more complex relationship, one of rivalry, respect, and sometimes revenge. The ongoing conflict between lions, buffalo, and baboons is a powerful reminder that on the African savanna, survival is a constant struggle. Even the king of beasts must respect the strength, intelligence, and resilience of its rivals. It is a timeless war, fought on the vast stage of the Kenyan wilderness, a battle of titans, where every day brings new challenges, and every encounter can tip the balance between life and death. In the shadowy depths of Kenya's winding rivers and ephemeral pools, a master of patience and stealth lies in wait. Here, beneath the surface where sunlight barely penetrates, the Nile crocodile reigns as the silent hunter, an ancient predator whose story is written in the ripples and stillness of the water. The Nile crocodile, armored in rugged scales and cloaked in the colors of mud and shadow, is a living relic from a time when giants ruled the earth. It glides through the water with barely a ripple, its movement so subtle that even the keenest eyes may miss its approach. With only its eyes and nostrils exposed, the crocodile becomes a phantom, an illusion of a drifting log. It can remain perfectly still for hours, its patience as deep as the river itself, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Beneath the tranquil surface, however, lies a body built for sudden violence. Muscles coil with silent power, ready to unleash a burst of speed that belies the crocodile's seemingly sluggish nature. Its jaws, lined with 64 to 68 conical teeth, are designed for one purpose: to seize and hold. When they snap shut, they do so with a force of up to 22,000 newtons, enough to crush bone and end a struggle in an instant. The crocodile's hunting strategy is a symphony of patience and explosive action. It waits, motionless, as the world above goes about its business, until the moment an unsuspecting animal approaches the water's edge. In a heartbeat, the silent hunter erupts from the depths, jaws agape, seizing its prey with terrifying precision. The water churns with the violence of the attack, a brief storm in an otherwise placid world. Then comes the infamous death roll, a spinning, twisting maneuver that disorients and dismembers, ensuring the crocodile's meal is claimed with ruthless efficiency. When the rains vanish and the rivers shrink, the crocodile's ancient resilience is revealed. With a metabolism as slow as the turning of seasons, it can endure months without food, lying motionless in the mud, waiting for the world to change once more. The Nile crocodile is the silent sentinel of Kenya's waterways, a living echo of the age of dinosaurs, its presence a reminder of nature's enduring power and patience. In striking contrast to this solitary hunter, the African savanna elephant roams the land, a gentle giant whose footsteps shape the very heart of the wilderness. These magnificent beings move in close-knit herds, their bonds forged by memory, wisdom, and the unspoken language of touch and sound. The elephant is more than a mere inhabitant of the savanna. It is an architect of the wild. With every step, it transforms the landscape, opening new pathways and creating clearings where sunlight can nurture fresh life. As they topple trees and strip branches, elephants make way for new grasses to flourish, providing food and shelter for countless smaller creatures. Their actions ripple through the ecosystem, sustaining a delicate balance that supports life in all its forms. Their massive feet press the earth, shaping the land, while their dung sows the seeds of future forests, fertilizing the soil and spreading life across the plains. In the harshest months, when water is scarce and the sun scorches the land, elephants become saviors. With powerful trunks and tusks, they dig deep into dry riverbeds, unearthing hidden water that sustains not only their own herds but a multitude of thirsty animals. An adult elephant is a marvel of nature's design, consuming up to 150 kilograms of vegetation and drinking as much as 230 liters of water each day, an endless quest that drives their gentle wanderings. Their vast ears, like living sails, catch the breeze and radiate heat, keeping these giants cool beneath the relentless African sun. The trunk, an extraordinary fusion of strength and sensitivity, serves as a hand, a nose, a trumpet, and a lifeline. With it, elephants communicate, nurture their young, and explore the world with a gentle curiosity. These gentle giants are the gardeners of the savanna, their presence vital to the health and diversity of the land. In their company, the wild flourishes, and the story of Kenya's untamed heart continues, written in the silent glide of the crocodile and the thunderous march of the elephant herd. Towering above the acacia-dotted plains is the tallest animal on Earth, the Maasai giraffe. From this lofty vantage point, the giraffe surveys a world few others can reach, its head brushing the clouds as it moves with unhurried grace. Its incredible height gives it a unique advantage, allowing it to browse on the tender leaves of the high canopy, a food source beyond the reach of almost every other herbivore. This adaptation means the giraffe faces little competition for its meals, thriving where others cannot. By feeding on these upper branches, giraffes also inadvertently help other species by opening up the understory to sunlight, promoting the growth of vegetation closer to the ground. Their selective browsing shapes the very landscape, creating a mosaic of habitats for countless creatures below. This gentle giant, with its long neck and patterned coat, is an iconic and graceful presence on the Kenyan savannah, a living skyscraper that moves with surprising elegance. Its height is both a shield and a beacon, allowing it to spot danger from afar, but also making it a visible target. Despite its size, the giraffe is not without its vulnerabilities. The open plains offer little cover, and every trip to water is a calculated risk. Its greatest weakness is exposed when it needs to drink. Lowering its head to the water's surface, the giraffe must splay its legs and bend awkwardly, sacrificing its speed and balance. To lower its head to a waterhole, a giraffe must spread its long front legs into a wide, awkward stance, a position that makes it clumsy and slow to react. In these moments, the giraffe's world narrows to the water's edge, every sense straining for the slightest hint of danger. It is in these moments that it is most susceptible to an attack from predators like lions or crocodiles. The savannah's hunters know this weakness well, lying in wait for the perfect opportunity. To mitigate this risk, giraffes often drink in groups, taking turns to keep watch. While some lower their heads, others stand tall, eyes scanning the horizon, ready to sound the alarm at the first sign of trouble. These temporary social gatherings, aptly named towers, increase their collective vigilance, with multiple pairs of eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of danger. In unity, they find safety, each individual's alertness woven into the fabric of the group's survival. Far below the giraffes, living closer to the ground, are the ever-watchful vervet monkeys. Their world is a tangle of roots and branches, where danger can come from any direction. These small, agile primates are identified by their silver-grey fur and distinctive black faces. Their nimble bodies are built for quick escapes and daring leaps. As opportunistic omnivores, their diet is varied and expands during the rainy season to include an abundance of fruits, seeds, and insects. Their adaptability is their greatest strength, allowing them to thrive in changing conditions. They are highly social animals, living in troops that forage and rest together. Within these close-knit groups, bonds are formed and reinforced through grooming and play, each member contributing to the safety of the whole. Their survival depends on constant awareness and quick communication, as they are prey for a wide range of predators, including leopards, eagles, and pythons. Every rustle in the grass, every shadow overhead, could spell danger. Vervet monkeys have developed a sophisticated system of alarm calls to protect their troop. Each call is a coded message, instantly understood by every member. They use different sounds to signal different types of threats: a sharp bark for a stalking leopard, a chutter for an eagle circling above, each sound triggering a specific response. A specific bark might warn of a leopard approaching on the ground, prompting the monkeys to scramble up into the trees. Their agility and speed are their best defenses, vanishing into the canopy in a heartbeat. A different chuttering sound might indicate an eagle soaring overhead, causing them to dive for cover in the dense undergrowth. Each alarm is a testament to their finely tuned instincts and the constant vigilance required for survival. These alarm calls are so reliable that other species, such as antelope and birds, have learned to listen in and respond to the warnings, making the vervet monkey an unwitting sentinel for the wider savanna community. In this intricate web of life, every adaptation, every strategy is a story of survival, written from the treetops to the ground, where ingenuity and vigilance are the keys to enduring another day. In the vast, sun-drenched plains of Kenya, where lions prowl and elephants roam, the true heartbeat of the savanna often lies with its lesser-known inhabitants. While the mighty predators and towering herbivores capture the spotlight, it is the smaller, often overlooked creatures who quietly sustain the land's health and harmony. Among these unsung heroes, the black-backed jackal stands out as a master of adaptation and resourcefulness. With a slender frame and keen amber eyes, this clever canine is a familiar silhouette, trotting with purpose across the golden grasslands, always alert, always searching. Weighing just 6 to 13 kilograms, the jackal is a nimble hunter, stalking rodents, birds, and insects with silent precision. Its diet is as varied as the savanna itself, allowing it to thrive where others might falter. But the jackal's true gift is its extraordinary sense of smell. From over 2 kilometers away, it can detect the faintest scent of carrion, guiding it to the remains left behind by larger hunters. Here, the jackal becomes nature's diligent cleaner, consuming what others leave behind. Jackals are not solitary wanderers. They form lifelong monogamous pairs, working together to defend their territory and nurture their pups. Their family bonds are strong, and their cooperation ensures the next generation of cleaners will thrive. As scavengers, jackals are vital to the ecosystem. They gather at carcasses, stripping away flesh and bone, leaving little for disease to take hold. In the relentless heat, their swift work prevents rot and decay from spreading illness, keeping the plains clean and safe for all who dwell there. Their presence accelerates the breakdown of remains, even curbing the numbers of scavenging insects that might otherwise swarm unchecked. The black-backed jackal, though small, is a guardian of balance, a living reminder that every creature, no matter its size, has a vital role in the wild's intricate design. When the rains return, the savanna transforms. Emerald grasses surge skyward, and a new cast of characters emerges to dazzle the eye and enrich the land. The lilac-breasted roller, no larger than a pigeon, becomes a living jewel against the fresh green. Its presence is a promise of renewal, a messenger of the season's change. Its feathers shimmer with lilac, turquoise, blue, and green, a breathtaking palette that rivals the sky itself. During the rains, the male roller takes to the air, performing acrobatic rolls and dives in a spectacular courtship display. His flight is a dance of color and grace, a signal to all that life is flourishing once more. The roller's diet is as vibrant as its plumage, grasshoppers, beetles, and other insects that swarm after the rains. By feasting on these, the roller helps keep insect populations in check, adding artistry and balance to the savanna. These smaller creatures, cleaners, messengers, and more, are the threads that weave the savanna's living tapestry, holding the ecosystem together with their daily labors. Consider the partnership between the mighty elephant and the red-billed oxpecker, a bird whose sharp eyes and nimble beak are always on the lookout for parasites. These birds ride atop elephants, giraffes, and buffalo, plucking ticks and parasites from their hosts' thick hides. Their presence is a constant, gentle grooming, an alliance that benefits both bird and beast. For the oxpecker, each meal is a reward. For the mammal, it is relief from irritation and disease. This is nature's partnership at its finest, a living example of mutual benefit. From the jackal that cleans the plains, to the roller that heralds the rains, to the oxpecker that tends the giants, each species is a vital note in the symphony of the savanna. Together, they create a resilient, ever-changing web of life, one that makes the wild heart of Kenya truly extraordinary. As dawn breaks over the endless savannas of Kenya, a new chapter begins for its wild inhabitants. Here, every sunrise is a testament to resilience, a promise that life, in all its forms, will continue to adapt and endure. In this ancient land, the tapestry of life is woven from countless stories of survival. Herds of antelope move as one, alert and agile, their unity a shield against lurking predators. Baboons gather in the cool shade, their sharp eyes ever watchful, their bonds unbreakable. Lions, the rulers of these plains, prowl with silent determination, while baboons, clever and resourceful, outwit danger with teamwork and cunning. Here, the hunter and the hunted are locked in an eternal dance, each shaping the destiny of the other. From the towering giraffe stretching for the highest leaves to the nimble jackal weaving through the grass, every creature plays a vital role in the balance of this ecosystem. The rhythm of the rains brings renewal, transforming the land and offering hope to all who call it home. When the rains arrive, parched earth bursts into life. Waterholes become gathering places where animals of every kind share in the bounty, their survival intertwined in a delicate harmony perfected over millennia. This is one of the most intricate and awe-inspiring ecosystems on Earth, a living mosaic of strength, adaptation, and interdependence. Yet the future is uncertain. The wild kingdom faces challenges that test the limits of endurance. As the savanna changes, territories shrink and ancient migration routes become harder to traverse. The Maasai giraffe, once a common sight, now wanders through ever-diminishing forests, its numbers dwindling with each passing year. The silence where herds once roamed is a stark reminder of the fragility of this world. The giraffe's quiet struggle echoes the challenges faced by all who depend on these wild spaces. Elephants, too, journey across cracked earth in search of water, their ancient paths now fraught with uncertainty. Their resilience is legendary, but even the mightiest must adapt to survive. Lions, chimpanzees, and countless others face shrinking domains, their worlds growing smaller and more perilous. The climate, once predictable, now brings longer droughts and sudden storms, testing the resolve of every living creature. The land endures cycles of hardship and renewal. In times of drought, animals gather at the last remaining waterholes, their determination unwavering as they wait for the life-giving rains to return. Through adversity, the spirit of wild Kenya shines brightest. Each animal, from the smallest insect to the largest elephant, is a testament to the power of adaptation and hope. The challenges are immense, but the story of this land is not one of despair. It is a story of resilience. The future of wild Kenya is written in the courage of its animals, in their ability to endure, to change, and to thrive against the odds. The savanna's survival depends on the strength of every creature, great and small. Together they form an unbreakable web of life, each thread essential to the whole. New generations are born into this world of challenge and wonder. Young animals learn from their elders, inheriting the wisdom and instincts that have allowed their kind to persist through countless ages. With every sunrise, hope is renewed. The wild heart of Kenya beats on, a living legacy of resilience and beauty. The future of this fragile kingdom rests in the strength, adaptability, and unity of its wild inhabitants. Their story is far from over. As long as the animals of Kenya endure, the great dramas of the wild will continue to unfold, an eternal testament to the power of nature and the promise of tomorrow. As the sun dips below the horizon, a hush falls across the Kenyan plains. The brilliance of day gives way to the deep indigo of night, and a different world awakens, a world where shadows move with purpose, and the air vibrates with sounds unseen by the day. Beneath the silver glow of the moon, the savanna transforms. Nocturnal eyes blink open, catching the faintest glimmers of starlight. The night belongs to those who move in silence. A chorus of nightlife begins. The distant yips of jackals echo across the open grass, their calls weaving through the darkness, mapping territory and finding kin. In the acacia thickets, bush babies leap from branch to branch, their oversized eyes reflecting the moon as they forage for insects and sweet fruit. The air fills with the soft flutter of bat wings, silent hunters sweeping through the night in search of moths and beetles. On the ground, jennets slink between shadows, their spotted coats perfectly camouflaged in the dim light. They pause, ears twitching, alert for the faint rustle of prey. Meanwhile, aardvarks emerge from their burrows, solitary diggers with powerful claws, sniffing the earth for termites and ants. Each movement is deliberate, every footstep cautious. The big cats, too, are at their most formidable. Lions, their golden eyes glowing, patrol their territory under the cover of darkness. Their roars ripple through the night, both a warning and a declaration of power. Leopards, masters of stealth, glide through tall grass and over tree limbs, hunting with patience and precision. Their world is one of silence and sudden violence. Even the smallest creatures play their part. In the cool night air, crickets and frogs sing, their rhythmic calls a backdrop to the nocturnal symphony. Fireflies blink in the undergrowth, tiny beacons in the darkness. Near waterholes, hippos leave their aquatic sanctuaries, lumbering onto land to graze under the stars. Their massive forms are surprisingly nimble, moving with purpose before returning to the safety of water at dawn. For many, the night is a time of opportunity and danger. Prey animals like impalas and zebras gather in tight groups, their senses heightened, every ear tuned to the faintest crackle in the grass. Owls glide overhead, their wings whisper quiet, scanning for rodents below. This is a world rarely seen by day. Here, survival depends on stealth, acute senses, and the ability to vanish into the night. Each creature has adapted to the darkness in its own way, from the keen vision of the nightjar to the sensitive whiskers of the African civet. Evolution has crafted specialists for every niche. As the hours pass, the night's drama unfolds unseen by human eyes. Every rustle, every call, every shadow tells a story of adaptation and survival. In the final moments before dawn, the nocturnal world prepares to yield once more to the coming light. In the secret lives of Kenya's nocturnal animals, the wild persists, resilient, mysterious, and ever adaptable. When the first rays of sun break the spell of night, the creatures of darkness retreat, their stories written in footprints and whispers, waiting for night to fall again. As dawn breaks over the endless plains, a distant rumble trembles through the grasslands. It is not thunder, but the heartbeat of Africa, the start of an epic journey. Across the vast savannas and winding rivers of Kenya, millions of hooves drum against the earth. The Great Migration has begun. From the southern Serengeti, immense herds of wildebeest, joined by zebras and gazelles, surge northward. They move as one, a living tide that stretches to the horizon, driven by ancient instincts and the promise of fresh grazing. The landscape transforms beneath their feet. Acacia woodlands, sun-baked plains, and meandering rivers become their endless road. Every journey is fraught with peril. In the shimmering heat, predators lie in wait. Lion prides shadow the herds, moving with patience and cunning. Cheetahs, swift as the wind, stalk the fringes, eyes locked on the weakest stragglers. In the cool shade of riverbanks, crocodiles lurk, motionless until the moment a crossing begins. The herds press onward, drawn by the scent of rain and the green flush of new grass. Hunger gnaws at their bellies, but danger is never far. Dust clouds rise as thousands surge forward, the air thick with tension and the lowing of anxious mothers calling for their calves. At the Mara River, the most formidable challenge awaits. The water churns with hidden jaws. Wildebeest hesitate at the edge, their instincts warring with fear. Suddenly the first leap, then hundreds follow, plunging into the torrent. Some are swept away by the current, others fall to waiting crocodiles, but many make it across, battered yet triumphant, their journey written in mud and scars. Not all are travellers. Along the route, opportunists gather, vultures circle above, ready to claim what the river and predators leave behind. Jackals and hyenas trail the march, alert for the faintest sign of weakness, their survival intertwined with the fate of the herds. Even the smallest creatures are swept up in this seasonal tide. Oxpeckers ride on the backs of buffalo, picking insects from their hides. Storks and egrets follow, plucking disturbed frogs and insects from the churned earth. The migration is more than a journey. It is a living web, each animal playing its part in the eternal cycle. Rain clouds gather on the horizon, promising relief and renewal. The herds move tirelessly, crossing valleys and escarpments, forging new paths across the land. In their wake, the plains are transformed. Grass is grazed down, seeds are scattered, and the soil is turned, nurturing the next generation of life. As the sun sets on another day, the march continues. No human eyes witness the quiet moments, the comforting nudge of a mother's nose, the playful leap of a calf, the silent pact among survivors to keep moving, always moving. In Kenya, the Great Migration is not merely a journey, it is the pulse of the wild, a timeless odyssey of endurance, courage, and connection. And as long as the rains fall and the grass grows, the herds will return, forever on the move, forever shaping the land that sustains them. Beneath the pounding hooves and sweeping drama of the Great Migration, another world thrives, quiet, intricate, and essential. Here, in the tangled roots and sunlit shadows of Kenya's grasslands, the smallest creatures shape the fate of the mighty. As the sun warms the earth, armies of termites emerge from hidden mounds. These master builders labor tirelessly, raising spires of mud and saliva that tower above the grass. Within their fortress walls, millions work in perfect harmony, chewing, tunneling, and farming fungus. Their endless toil aerates the soil and recycles dead plant matter, turning decay into new life. Across the savannah, their mounds become islands of fertility, nurturing wildflowers and drawing grazing herds. Ants march in disciplined columns, their paths winding between blades of grass. Some are fierce predators, hunting caterpillars and beetles to feed their colonies. Others tend to herds of aphids, collecting sweet honeydew in exchange for protection. Each ant, though tiny, is a crucial player in the web of survival, dispersing seeds, cleaning up the remains of the fallen, and keeping the balance between life and decay. Hidden among the stems, praying mantises sway like leaves in the wind. With lightning speed, they snatch unsuspecting prey, flies, crickets, even other mantises. Their patience is legendary, their camouflage perfect. In the blink of an eye, they become both predator and prey, a fleeting moment in the endless cycle. Beetles clad in armor of every hue scuttle through the undergrowth. Dung beetles roll their precious cargo across the plains, burying it underground. In doing so, they fertilize the earth, prevent the spread of disease, and return vital nutrients to the soil. Their tireless work ensures that the grasslands remain lush and healthy, ready for the return of the herds. Above, butterflies and bees drift from blossom to blossom, dusted in golden pollen. Their delicate wings beat in time with the breeze, weaving invisible threads between plants. Each visit sparks new life, ensuring that wildflowers bloom and fruit ripens across the plains. Tiny spiders spin silken traps among the grass, their webs glistening with morning dew. Patiently, they wait for the tremble of a captured insect, a feast for the vigilant. Even the smallest predator plays a part, keeping populations in check and providing food for hungry birds. In this hidden world, every creature has a role. Millipedes break down fallen leaves, enriching the soil. Crickets sing their night songs, calling to mates and warning of danger. Moths camouflaged against bark and stone pollinate flowers under the cover of darkness. The giants of the savannah may shape the land, but it is the small and unseen who keep it alive. Together, they weave a tapestry of life, one that stretches from the tallest acacia to the tiniest blade of grass. In Kenya, the secret architects of the wild are always at work, building, breaking, and renewing the world beneath our feet. In the heart of Kenya's sun-baked plains, where shade is sparse and the air shimmers with heat, life gathers at the most precious of sanctuaries, the Waterhole. Here, under the relentless gaze of the African sun, every drop is worth its weight in gold. The first light of dawn finds the water's surface glassy and still. A lone giraffe approaches, neck craning high to scan for danger. With cautious grace, she bends her long legs and dips her head, sending ripples across the mirror-like pool. Soon her calf joins her, their reflections merging with the sky. As the morning unfolds, the Waterhole becomes a stage for an ever-changing parade. Herds of zebras arrive in tight-knit bands, their black and white stripes dazzling in the rising sun. They nicker softly, jostling for space, eyes alert for lurking predators. Wildebeest thunder in next, their hooves churning the mud, their thirst urgent and unyielding after a night's march. Elephants emerge from the shadows, matriarch leading her family with slow, deliberate steps. The ground seems to tremble beneath their weight. At the edge, the youngest calf splashes playfully, trunk flailing, while older siblings shower themselves with cool, muddy water. Their deep rumbles echo across the plain, a language older than memory, shared and understood by all who listen. A warthog family trots in, tails held high like little flags. They kneel to drink, snouts buried in the mud, ever watchful for crocodiles lurking beneath the surface. At the far shore, impalas and gazelles gather in nervous clusters, always poised for flight, their delicate faces mirrored in the water. Birds flock to the scene in a burst of color and sound. Crowned cranes stalk the shallows, their golden plumes catching the light. A kingfisher dives, snatching a silvery fish in a flash of blue. Egrets and storks wade with careful steps, searching for frogs and insects among the reeds. As midday heat intensifies, the waterhole becomes a place of uneasy truce. Predators and prey draw near, bound by the same need. A pride of lions lounges in the shade, eyes half closed, yet always watching. The tension is palpable. A single misstep could mean life or death. Crocodiles bask on the muddy banks, jaws agape, their ancient eyes betraying no emotion. Sometimes a careless antelope strays too close, and the water erupts in a sudden, violent struggle. The cycle of life and death plays out in the blink of an eye, swift, brutal, and inevitable. As the sun dips toward the horizon, the animals return once more. The day's last light shimmers on the water, painting the scene in gold and crimson. Hippos wallow in the shallows, grunting and splashing, their massive bodies half submerged. Baboons chatter in the trees above, waiting for their turn to drink. Night falls, and the waterhole quiets, but it is never truly still. Under the stars, nocturnal creatures come to quench their thirst. Porcupines, genets, and the silent, elusive leopard. The chorus of frogs resumes, and the cycle begins anew. In this arid world, water is the great equalizer. Every hoofprint, every ripple, every fleeting shadow testifies to its power. The waterhole is more than a place. It is the lifeblood of Kenya's wild heart, drawing creatures together in a delicate dance of survival, unity, and hope. As dawn breaks over the Kenyan plains, the air stirs with 1,000 beating wings. Here, in the heart of Africa, birds reign as both messengers and musicians, each species a vital thread in the tapestry of life. Above the golden grasslands, a spiraling flock of quailias darkens the sky. Numbering in the tens of thousands, they move as one, twisting and turning in mesmerizing waves. Their synchronized flight confuses predators and signals the abundance of seeds below, a feast born of rain and fertile soil. In the acacia trees, superb starlings shimmer in iridescent blues and greens. Their calls are a chorus of whistles and clicks, echoing across the savannah. These social songbirds forage cooperatively, sharing both food and alarm calls, their vigilance a shield against lurking dangers. High on the thermals, a martial eagle soars, its keen eyes scanning for movement far below. With a sudden dive, it plummets toward its prey, talons outstretched, a master hunter, vital for keeping populations in balance. Meanwhile, the wetlands pulse with life. African jacanas tiptoe across lily pads, their impossibly long toes distributing their weight as they search for insects and snails. Nearby, the secretive shoebill stands motionless, its prehistoric silhouette barely distinguishable from the reeds. With lightning speed, it snaps up an unsuspecting fish, playing its part in the intricate web of aquatic life. Twice each year, Kenya becomes a crossroads for millions of migratory birds. From as far as Siberia and Europe, barn swallows and Eurasian bee-eaters arrive, their journeys guided by invisible stars and ancient instincts. They join resident species in feasting on swarming insects, helping to control pests and fertilize the land with their droppings. In the forests of Mount Kenya, the turako flashes through the canopy, its crimson wings a burst of color against green leaves. Its call is a rolling, bubbling laugh, a signal of territory, a summons to mates, a song of the forest's hidden depths. Vultures circle above the plains, drawn to the aftermath of predator and prey. They are nature's clean-up crew, their powerful stomachs neutralizing deadly diseases, ensuring that nothing goes to waste. From the tiniest sunbird sipping nectar from aloe blossoms to the regal crowned crane dancing in courtship, every bird has a role to play. They are pollinators, seed dispersers, hunters, and scavengers, sustaining the balance of this wild land. As the sun sets and the world quiets, the nightjars awaken, their haunting calls drifting over the darkening plains. In every hour, in every corner of Kenya, the Avian Symphony continues, a testament to adaptation, resilience, and the interconnectedness of all life. In the skies, in the trees, and on the waters, the birds of Kenya are more than just fleeting shadows. They are the spirit of the savannah, the architects of the ecosystem, and the ever-watchful guardians of the land. The sun blazes higher, and the grasslands of Kenya begin to wither. Once lush rivers shrink to narrow ribbons, and waterholes evaporate to cracked mud. Drought has come, a relentless test of endurance that sweeps across the savannah, touching every life. For the elephants, giants of the plains, survival becomes a journey. Matriarchs lead their herds across vast distances, guided by memory and the faint scent of water. Their trunks probe the earth, searching for hidden springs. Calves struggle to keep pace, but the unity of the herd is their strength, a living chain of experience and hope. Zebras and wildebeest, drawn together by scarcity, form immense migratory columns. Their hooves kick up dust, eyes scanning for the shimmer of distant water. They graze quickly, consuming tough, dry grasses that many others cannot digest. Their bodies are models of efficiency, extracting every drop of moisture from their food. In the shade of a lone acacia, a pride of lions waits. Prey is scarce, and the hunt becomes more dangerous. The lion's golden coats blend with the brittle grass, but every failed chase wastes precious energy. Cubs learn the lessons of patience and perseverance, their survival balanced on a knife's edge. Giraffes, with their long necks, reach higher than any other, stripping leaves from the tallest trees. Even these hardy browsers must adapt, switching to thornier branches, eating bark, and traveling between isolated stands of green. Their tongues, tough as leather, are perfectly suited for this harsh menu. Below the surface, the burrowing creatures, the aardvark, the mole rat, retreat deeper underground where the earth is cooler and moisture lingers. They emerge only at night, minimizing water loss and evading the worst of the heat. The crocodiles of shrinking rivers become still as stone, entering a state of torpor, conserving energy until the rains return. Fish burrow into the mud, encasing themselves in a protective cocoon, waiting in suspended animation for the promise of water. Birds, too, must adapt. The ostrich, largest of all, can go for days without drinking, drawing water from the plants it eats. Smaller species time their breeding to coincide with the rare rainstorms, ensuring their chicks have the best chance in a world of dwindling pools. For every animal, adaptation is a story of innovation and resilience. Some form unlikely alliances, oxpeckers and buffalo, jackals shadowing lions, each seeking an advantage, however small. Others rely on age-old instincts, the ability to read the wind, to follow ancient trails, to sense the coming of change. As the drought deepens, death and life walk side by side. The fallen return their nutrients to the soil, fueling the cycle that will begin anew when the rains finally break. In this crucible of hardship, only the adaptable endure. And so, beneath the relentless sun, Kenya's wildlife weathers the drought, shaped by adversity, strengthened by survival, and ever hopeful for the return of the life-giving rain. Across the sweeping plains of Kenya, a silent drama unfolds each day, a relentless, intricate dance between predator and prey. Here, Every movement is shaped by millennia of evolution, and every encounter is a test of wits, speed, and cunning. The cheetah, the fastest land animal on Earth, relies on stealth and explosive acceleration. Hidden in the tall golden grass it waits, muscles coiled like springs. A herd of Thompson's gazelles grazes nearby, their eyes and ears in constant motion. The cheetah selects a target, a young, slightly limping gazelle at the edge of the group. In a sudden blur, the chase is on. The gazelle zigzags with astonishing agility, using sharp turns and sudden leaps to evade its pursuer. For the cheetah, success depends on timing and precision. Its sprint lasts only seconds before exhaustion sets in. Today, the gazelle escapes, and the cheetah is left panting, a reminder that even the swiftest must pick their moment. Elsewhere, a pride of lions employs teamwork and patience. As dusk falls, they spread out in a wide arc, nearly invisible in the dim light. Their quarry, a herd of buffalo, formidable and dangerous. The lionesses communicate with low rumbles and subtle signals, coordinating the ambush. At the right moment, they strike. One lioness drives the herd toward the waiting pride, while others circle to cut off escape. The buffalo, however, are not defenseless. With horns lowered, they form a protective wall around their calves, bellowing in defiance. The battle is fierce, and sometimes it is the lions who must retreat, nursing wounds and learning from the failed attempt. In the acacia thickets, the leopard reigns as a master of stealth. It hunts alone, relying on silence and surprise. With paws as soft as velvet, it moves through the shadows, eyes fixed on an unsuspecting impala. In a sudden leap, it seizes its prey, dragging it high into the branches, safe from scavengers, a meal won by patience and precision. Even the smallest predators play their part. The African wild dog, with its mottled coat and boundless energy, hunts in tightly knit packs. Their strategy is relentless pursuit, wearing down antelope over long distances with coordinated attacks. Each member has a role. Some chase, some cut off escape routes, others wait to intercept. Their success rate is among the highest of any predator, a testament to the power of cooperation. But prey are not merely victims. The gazelle's keen eyesight, the zebra's dazzling stripes that confuse attackers, the giraffe's towering vigilance, all are defenses honed by generations of survival. Some species form mixed herds combining senses and strengths for mutual protection. Others rely on alarm calls, warning the entire community of danger with a single sharp cry. Every encounter is a lesson written in dust and blood, sometimes in victory, often in escape. In this eternal contest, there are no villains, only survivors. Predator and prey shape each other, locked in a cycle that ensures the health and balance of Kenya's wild heart. Here, life is never guaranteed, but through innovation, adaptation, and the ceaseless will to survive, both hunter and hunted continue the ancient dance, each depending on the other, each driving the evolution of the land. Beneath the golden savanna and beyond the thorny acacia thickets, Kenya's rivers and wetlands carve winding paths across the land, a shimmering network that sustains all who call this place home. These watery arteries are more than just a respite from the relentless African sun. They are the very veins of life, pulsing with energy, diversity, and connection. At dawn, the banks of the Mara River awaken with a chorus of calls. Hippos, massive and watchful, lumber from the shallows, their grunts echoing through the mist. Submerged by day, they graze by night, fertilizing the land and shaping the riverbanks with their movements. Nile crocodiles, ancient and patient, slip silently beneath the surface, their eyes just above the waterline, waiting for the unwary to approach the edge. A dazzle of zebras and herds of wildebeest crowd the muddy shores, drawn by the promise of cool, life-giving water. Here predator and prey gather, united by a common need. The river offers both sanctuary and peril, a place to quench thirst but also a gauntlet of danger. As the animals approach, flocks of sacred ibises and spoonbills wade through the reeds, probing the mud for insects and tiny fish. Their movements stir up clouds of dragonflies, which dart and hover in glistening swarms. Beneath the water's surface, a hidden world thrives. Schools of cichlid fish flash like living jewels among tangled roots. Frogs and toads chorus from the margins, their calls rising in a symphony that signals the health of the wetland. Terrapins bask on sun-warmed logs, slipping into the water at the slightest disturbance. In the papyrus marshes, the elusive Sitatunga antelope moves with almost ghostly grace, its splayed hooves adapted for the soft, shifting ground. Overhead, the African jacana, light as a feather, tiptoes across floating vegetation, searching for insects with delicate precision. Weaver birds gather reeds and grasses, weaving intricate nests that dangle over the water, safe from most predators. The wetlands are nurseries for the young. Elephant herds lead their calves to shallow pools where they splash and play, learning the rhythms of life in safety. Here, crocodile hatchlings slip from their eggs, guided by their mother's gentle jaws to the water's edge. The air buzzes with the activity of countless insects, a feast for frogs, birds, and bats as the sun sets. But the rivers do more than nourish. They connect. Migratory fish travel upstream to spawn, their journey mirrored by the movements of birds that follow the water's path, stopping to rest and feed. Otters play in the currents, their sleek bodies darting between rocks as they hunt for fish and crustaceans. Every creature, from the smallest tadpole to the largest elephant, depends on these lifelines. In times of drought, the wetlands shrink, drawing animals closer, intensifying the drama of survival. In the rainy season, the rivers swell, flooding the plains and breathing new life into the landscape. Here, in the embrace of water and reeds, Kenya's wild heart beats strongest. The rivers and wetlands are sanctuaries and crossroads, cradles of diversity and engines of renewal. They remind us that in this land of extremes, it is water, ever-changing, ever-flowing, that binds all life together, shaping destinies with every ripple and current. In the heart of Kenya, time is not marked by calendars or clocks, but by the rhythm of the seasons, a cycle as ancient as the land itself. Here, the passage of months is painted in sweeping strokes, the lush greens of the rains, the tawny golds of the dry, and the dramatic transformations that ripple through every corner of the wild. When the long rains arrive, the savannah awakens from its dusty slumber. Clouds gather on the horizon, and the first drops fall with a promise of renewal. Grass shoots push through the earth, unfurling in a carpet of emerald. Rivers and waterholes swell, breathing life into every thirsty hollow. Wildebeest calves are born in synchrony, their spindly legs unsteady as they take their first steps. The air is thick with birdsong, bee-eaters, weavers and rollers, all busy nesting and feeding their young. Frogs emerge from hiding, their calls filling the air each night, while insects hatch in clouds, providing a banquet for hungry chicks and bats on the wing. As the skies clear and the rains fade, Kenya shifts into the dry season. The grasses wither, turning the plains to gold. Water becomes precious, drawing animals together at shrinking pools. Elephants dig into parched riverbeds, unearthing hidden springs. Predators like lions and leopards prowl the thinning cover, their movements shadowed by the desperate herds. Giraffes stretch higher into the acacia trees, seeking the last tender leaves, while zebras and gazelles graze the brittle stalks below. Survival demands ingenuity and resilience, and every creature adapts in its own way. With the arrival of the short rains, hope returns. The land drinks deeply, and dormant seeds burst to life once more. Migratory birds descend in swirling flocks, their plumage flashing in the softened light. The great herds begin their long journeys, following the scent of fresh grass carried on the wind. Crocodiles and hippos reclaim their swollen riverbanks, while butterflies and bees flit from flower to flower, pollinating the next generation of plants. Through it all, no human foot disturbs the cycle. The seasons turn, each one a chapter in the story of survival. The animals of Kenya live by the pulse of rain and drought, adapting to extremes, thriving on change. Their lives are written in the patterns of the weather, in the ebb and flow of water and grass, in the eternal dance between feast and famine. In this wild, untamed land, the seasons are the grand architects, sculpting the landscape, shaping destinies, and reminding us that here, nature alone holds the pen. In Kenya's wild heart, every life is bound by invisible threads, connections that shape the destiny of the land. Here, the story is not of lone survivors, but of a vast, intricate web. Each animal, each plant, each insect playing a vital role in the balance of life. The acacia tree stands tall, its branches a gathering place for giraffes, who delicately strip leaves with their long tongues. In return, the tree's thorns and bitter sap keep grazers in check, ensuring it is never overbrowsed. Beneath its shade, ants scurry in and out of hollow thorns, their home. The ants fiercely defend the tree from hungry caterpillars, while the tree feeds the ants with sweet nectar. This is symbiosis, each relying on the other for survival. On the savannah, zebras graze first, their teeth cropping the tall, tough grass. Wildebeest follow, eating the shorter, softer shoots that spring up in the zebra's wake. Gazelles are last, nibbling the tenderest blades. This sequence prevents overgrazing and keeps the plains lush. But the connection runs deeper. Dung beetles soon arrive, rolling the animals' droppings away, recycling nutrients back into the soil, feeding the grass that will nourish the herds again. Predators, too, are woven into this tapestry. Lions and cheetahs cull the weak and sick, keeping herds healthy and populations in balance. After the hunt, hyenas and vultures strip the bones clean, ensuring nothing is wasted. Even the bones themselves become homes for beetles and burrowing insects. In the wetlands, hippos graze on land at night, fertilizing the water with their droppings by day, feeding algae and fish. Fish, in turn, feed kingfishers and storks, while crocodiles lie in wait for the unwary. The health of the river depends on each player, from the tiniest snail to the mightiest hippo. Within termite mounds, armies of tiny builders aerate the soil, mixing nutrients and shaping the land. Their tunnels shelter lizards, snakes, and even warthogs. When the mound is abandoned, it becomes a nursery for new life. Everywhere, the cycle continues. Pollinators flit from flower to flower, ensuring the next generation of plants. Birds eat the fruits and scatter seeds far and wide, planting forests for tomorrow. Baboons and monkeys drop figs from the treetops, feeding antelope below. Without humans, the system stays in delicate balance. If one thread is pulled, the bees vanish, the vultures fall silent, the whole web trembles. Each species, from the smallest ant to the largest elephant, is a guardian of the land's health. In Kenya, life is not a chain, but a circle. Every creature connected, every action rippling outward. The web of life is strong, yet fragile, a masterpiece woven by nature's own hand. Here, harmony is survival, and every heartbeat echoes through the wild.